What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a walkthrough for Warriors Abyss. I'm going to be explaining what I pick and why I pick it. This is my Traversal 6 clear with Liu Bei. And as you can see on the screen, he is only a cumulative level of 375. I thought it was a good idea to do this. I don't do the Ruinous route here. This is only the normal version. I wanted to get a feel for it, see if I can actually beat it with a non-500 character. Because from what I've heard, it's recommended to have a level 500 character, but I was like, I'm too impatient to wait. So we went Liu Bei, 375. He has good abilities that helps build his kit. So he's got the crystal saplings that increase it to 4. He's got the shoe pulls. He can pull shoe characters easier, which will allow us to pick them in order to increase our attack. And then if he's below a certain amount of health, he will go back up to half health, which is actually really good. His strength isn't the best. There are definitely much stronger characters, but I already had him to Traversal 5, so I had to complete what I started, and it took me 4 hours to do it. Definitely have some regrets there. Next time I do Traversal 6 in order to fight Ruinous, it will probably be with a different character. Alright, first phase. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go through my choices here. We're not going to do a lot of gameplay. It's 4 hours long. I'm not going to subject you to all that. I just want to explain my choices, what I did and why, and then that'll be it for the video. So first, starting off here, we pick up an orb right at the end of phase 1, and we have choices between the flame and ice element and vigor. I'm gonna go with vigor right out the gate. One, because vigor is actually one of the most underrated first ones, because without that, like, I didn't realize while I was playing some of the other characters that without the vigor I can't interrupt their attacks, which led me to taking a lot of damage because I was so used to it. So vigor was a great choice out the gate. Out the gate we get Zhuge Liang. We're taking him right out the gate. That's 2 wisdoms and a bolt. Very, very good there. And then we have a choice between a vigor portal and a karma embers. We're going with the vigor because karma embers are really kind of worthless right now. We don't need them. We have plenty in order to buy other weapons or whatever you need. So we're not farming them. We don't need them. Phase 2, we get lucky once again out the gate. Again, I think his ability of pulling in shoe characters is just so powerful. Next 2 portals between the peach tree and a character. I decided to go with the character on this one instead of the peach tree. I was going to wait a little bit longer. I wanted to get my build a little bit stronger for Onigashira versus having better health. I can get the peaches later, which I think also help depending on what you run. Now in this one, you'll see me eventually acquire the 8-gate gold formation, and once I acquire that, then I'm okay. That is what kind of saved my ass for this run, because I just use that to heal all the time. Anyway, phase 3, we pick up another orb here. We got strength and then 2 elements that I'm not using, so I'm going to obviously go with the strength. And then we pull up another sapling, and we have Pang Tong sitting in there with the other 3 people. I'm obviously going to pick Shu over anybody else. I want to push his ability as fast as possible. Then we're at phase 3. We have a choice between the thorns and the cauldron. I'm going to go with the cauldron on this one. And then in the cauldron, we don't get too lucky, but I end up going with a bolt formation because that is an element that I would consider for Liu Bei. They didn't have any wind ones. All right, next phase. At the end of it, we pick up another orb. We have a choice between wisdom, strength, and bolt. I do consider both of them. Strength has some good defensive boost, but I really want to push the Muso attack strength, so I end up going with the wisdom. Then in the next one, we don't have any Shu characters, but Sasuke is available. And usually before Onigashira, I would like to have level 4 speed so I can get the double evasion if I can. So picking him was good for speed. Speed's one of the most underrated emblems as well. It's a very, very good one. And then in the next one, we do have Guanping in this rotation, but again, I am focusing on speed right out the gate. It's hard for me to be good at the game without the speed, so I do end up picking Yue Jin. He also has this skill on top of it as well. And we end up getting another choice between 2 elements and vigor. I don't believe I was focusing an element on this one. I don't think I did. I think I focused on the first 6 emblems because I end up picking vigor here once again in order to increase abilities and strength, but I don't think I end up pushing wind until a little bit later. Now this next choice, I end up not liking any of the choices I have for the first one, but then Hanzo Otoria pops out in the second one. He has the double speed emblem boost. We end up going with that, so that way we can unlock the double evasion. We also ended up having an extra bead. I don't know where we got it from, but we got an extra bead from somewhere, and Fa Zheng popped out right after that, and we picked him up as well. Next up, we end up fighting Onigashira. We're gonna go ahead and skip past that. I believe it took me like a minute or so. It actually didn't take that long to beat Onigashira. Even with his purple barrier, he went down pretty fast. So for our first treasure, we had the choices of the Green Bag Book, the Art of War, and the Bow of Yang Yuji. So the bow is obviously out right away. It's not as good as the other 2. The green bag would have been great to get later because of the 8 gates gold. Instead of getting, I think it gives you 2 or 3 per second that you're in the assemble. The Green Bag Book gives you 5 per second, which is so good. But we end up going with the Art of War here because without the Art of War, I would have had to get lucky with a cauldron and have enough Tears of Blood to buy the 8 Gates Gold formation. Now I have a healing that I can exploit throughout my run. Now during this run I also realized that Traversal 6, they take away the invincibility of the 8 gates, like of all of the formations, because I was taking damage while in the bubble, which I was not used to. If you have not run Traversal 6 and you rely on one of the bubble formations, it will not protect you all the way anymore. First phase is done for the next group. We got Guan Yinping and Masayuki Sanada, which were my two choices that I wanted to go with. Guan Yinping is great because she's a Shu character that adds to his ability as a passive, but she only pushes Vigor, which I think Vigor isn't that great. So I end up going with Masayuki Sanada because he has the skill and wisdom buff, which is really, really cool to see. And then I have a choice between a Slay portal and a regular portal, and I am going with the Slay one because there is a mission attached to it. In hindsight, that's probably, it depends. I mean, if you get the boss mission, those are the worst because it's like they're so strong and there's so much going on. I just avoid them. I just take those 2 minutes and I run it out. And this is when I discovered that I can take damage in the bubble. I remember this now. But yeah, for this mission we get lucky with the decoy warrior one, which I think is the easiest one to do. So you kill him in a minute and you end up getting the thing. We get an orb at the end. We have wisdom and then 2 elements. Again, I don't think I was focused on elements for this run. If I was, I would have gotten the wind element, I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't focused on it for this run. I think for this one I was trying to max out charm. I think I got to 17 total charm, because when you get to the max charm it has the rally ability, which I believe it's a certain amount of percentage to your attack and defense per character that you have put on your team, I believe is what it is. So I was really trying to push the charm to max because I felt like that attack and defense bonus would have been absolutely beautiful to have towards the end. Phase goes down pretty easily. There are a lot of characters left in this regular portal, so I end up re-rolling it to find a Shu character. I get Wei Yan, who is a Slay character, which is fine, but I just did it for his ability. Next we have a choice between Vigor and a normal portal. I end up picking the Vigor one here. There's like 4 characters that have Vigor, and Guan Yu and Zheng Fei are 2 of them. I need those characters. 1 for the 5 Tiger General thing that I like to do with Liu Bei, and 2, I'm pretty sure Guan Yu, Zheng Fei, and Liu Bei get a big boost when they are all together. And I think I already have Zheng Fei, right? Yeah, I already had Zheng Fei at this point, so having Guan Yu would have been absolutely crucial. All right, so next phase goes down. We pull Ma Chao out the gate. We're gonna grab him. He is one of the 5 Tiger Generals, so he is a target for me. I didn't get Guan Yu, but that's okay. We will get him later. Next portal choices is between a normal portal and an ice portal. I don't think I go with the ice portal because I don't think there is any Shu characters in ice. I think there's one. I think Yue Ying is the only one that has the ice element, so I just went with the normal one to increase my chances of getting a Shu character. I end up picking an orb once again. We have choices between Vigor and 2 elements. We go with the wind this time as I start to push that a little bit harder, but wind was not my main focus for this run. It was the charm. You'll see towards the end that I have 17 charm, and I could not, the orbs that dropped during the bosses, they just would not drop one measly charm emblem. I just needed one more to do a little bit more damage and not take as much. For the next pickings, we had Yue Ying pop up in one of the 4s, so again, Shu character, we're gonna go ahead and grab her. I also like her abilities. I like the summon cooldown. Next phase goes down. We ended up choosing the charm path. We ended up getting Nobunaga in the next pickings here. I didn't want to waste my rerolls for this because I actually didn't realize there wasn't any Shu characters that had charm, or I already got all of them. So I went with Nobunaga Oda. You know, he gets a skill and he has the charm one as well, so he get 2 for 1 with him. And then again, we have the Tears of Blood mission versus the Speed. Speed emblem is probably my favorite emblem, so I automatically go to it. I pick up an orb during this next phase here. We have a skill, vigor, and flame choice here, and I'm going with the skill choice. We get through the phase and we have a speed choice here. I don't know if there's any more Shu characters left, and I go with Guojia right out the gate. He's got the Muso bonus, or the wisdom bonus, and the speed as well. Getting that evasion cooldown is absolutely essential. And then we're going right into the boss against Magadori here. Magadori took a little bit to take down. I think he took about 4 or 5 minutes. And we had the choices of the next treasure between the bronze bird, the T-bowl, and the 4-wheel chariot. Out of these 3, the chariot is going to be the best one. Not only do I get speed, but I get some defense as well. And for me, I am a speed demon. You can call me Zhou Song because I love the speed emblem. Going into the first phase after fighting Magadori, we've got an orb pickup right before the end of phase 1. We have the strength and the 2 elements, and I'm going with the wind. Again, I was pushing the wind casually, but charm was my main focus for this. Next choice here, I actually end up going with the cauldron instead of the normal portal. I have 12,000 tears of blood, so I want to spend them, see if I can get someone You get a little lucky in this picking right here and see who we get. We don't end up getting anyone too important, but we get 2 free characters. We get a charm with Sun Chuan, and we get skill and wisdom with Yukimura. They're both fire, so we get a little bit of fire as well. And then we have a fog event right before phase 2, and this one was really interesting because we have a choice between 2 temporary bonuses and a permanent one. So we have this reduced evasion cooldown by 10% with a 70% chance of getting it. I had to go with it right away, and I ended up getting a permanent 10% evasion cooldown reduction for the entire run, which was very clutch to get. All right, we get through phase 3, pick up an orb at the end. We have Charm, Vigor, and Wind to pick from. Again, I end up picking the Charm emblem. I was really focused on pushing Charm to 18. I just did not get lucky enough. For this next picking here, I end up re-rolling a few times. I'm looking for a Shu character, and I end up looking out by getting Huang Zhong, another piece to the 5 Tiger Generals. And I believe now I was missing just Guan Yu and Zhao Yun. My next choice is here between a bolt portal and a normal portal with a mission. We end up going towards the normal side because it's just, I don't need to push the bolt. I could have for Zhao Yun if I wanted to. During that phase, I end up picking up an orb. Again, we get 3 choices, Charm, Slay, and Vigor. Again, pushing that Charm up to where it needs to be. We eventually get through the phase, complete the mission, all that good stuff. And I eventually make a hard decision by picking Sun Chang Zhang over Guan Yinping. Guan Yinping is, she's obviously Shu. She would, attribute to the attack bonus, but I think Sun Changzhang was a better choice here with the wind and the skill. We pick up an orb in the next phase as well. Choice between Slay, Strength, and Ice. I'm not pushing Slay, I'm not pushing Ice, so I'm going to pick the Strength one. Get some defensive bonuses there. And then we have another choice here. We've got No, Shang Chunhua, and Zhu Shu, and Kotaro. This is actually a really good. So we have a Shu character, a Speed character, and then No and Shang Chunhua are kind of the same character. They both have the Charm and the Slay. I end up going with Shang Chunhua on this one because again I wanted to push the Charm here. I really wanted the Charm to get to 18, but I just could not get it at the end. It was absolutely crazy. Next choice is between an Ice portal with a mission and a regular portal. Ice is just not, I already have Yue Ying. There's no point in going that route because there's no Shu characters there and there's nothing that I really wanted. I could have gone for Charm, but I think it was better to go for the overall portal because I'm still hunting Guan Yu and Zhao Yun. They're very important for me to get. I almost go with Kanbei Kuroda because I was one away from getting the 3rd version of the increased Musho power or charge or one of those two. So something that was really good that I really wanted. But I hadn't gotten, again, Zhao Yun and Guan Yu yet, who are important for completing the build that I want. I end up re-rolling and get Guan Yu right away and end up securing him as the 4th Tiger General. I only had 1 more left to hunt. Another choice here between Bolt and the regular here. I end up choosing the Bolt because again, Zhao Yun is the last character that I need in order to complete my build. Our next orb selection here, we got a good one. Speed, Wind, and Bolt. 3 good ones I would say for Liu Bei. And end up going with the wind element again, casually pushing that up as much as I can. And then after the portal, we go to select our character, and guess who pops out front and center? Mr. Zhao Yun. And we have completed our build with the 5 Tiger Generals. And Tamahami eventually will go down, and we will have the choice of our last treasure. So we already have the Chariot for speed and defense, and then we have the Art of War so we can get our 8 gates gold lock. For our final selection, we have the Cherry Blossom Armor, Imperial Seal, and the T-Caddy. Now, we don't need the bottom 2. T-Caddy has already been nullified because Liu Bei has that ability built into him, so I guess I would have 5, but it's not necessary because I've already gotten my 5 Tiger Generals that I wanted, and even if I didn't, the chances of getting them are pretty high. Again, he has those abilities. It makes it easier to acquire the people that I need. So Cherry Blossom Armor is the easiest choice here. That big defensive buff is huge. All right, diving into phase 1 after Tamahami here, we've got another orb pickup. Charm, Skill, and Ice. You already know we're going with the Charm, pushing that up to level 10. And we just could not get it to 18 for this one. It was so tragic. Anyway, all right, so we have a choice here between, again, I think that's a Charm portal and a regular portal. You already know we go in Charm. We are going to push the Charm as hard as we can. We pick up an orb during this next phase. It's Skill, Wisdom, and Bolt. I end up going with Wisdom for the attack power. Most of the attack power comes in clutch for some of the later bosses when they summon the lower peon people. We had a decent amount of people to choose from. I end up going with Hideyoshi. He's got speed and he has charm, so that was a great pick. Very easy to go with him. And then we get lucky again with another charm portal. Next orb in the next phase, I get lucky again. Another charm emblem. We are really pushing it It looks like the game was actually helping me out a little bit, but I could not get that last one. It was absolutely ball busting to get to the end and only have 17. And then the orbs that they dropped during the boss fight, none of them could drop just one. I just needed one measly charm left. Next two portals, another charm emblem portal in a row, third in a row, and it looked like it was like I was feeling good. I was like, man, I'm getting everything that I need, and hopefully this continues for a while because I really would like to push that up. Next phase, I get another orb, no charm this time, just 2 elements and vigor. And I end up going with the bolt on this one, completing the 4th one, activating the attribute. Instead of the vigor, I just think getting the attack at this stage of my run was not going to be possible because I was looking at the level 12 vigor, and I would probably have to sacrifice some of the charm in order to get there. But so next charm portal we have here, I end up looking back and forth on who I want. I'm going for Sao Sao or Motonari. The Muso, the wisdom emblem. Iyasu doesn't have that, so I kept going past him, and I ended up picking up Motonari. I think Joyu has it too. I think he has the wisdom as well. Anyway, next orb pickup in the next phase. We have 3 elements. Again, I'm not pushing the element too hard in this one. I'm really focused on the charm here. So I end up going with the flame power just to increase that debuff that I get off of my charges. Again, it still didn't feel like I was doing that much of a difference because Traversal 6, they are absolutely tanky. Next choices I have here, the first round, I contemplated going with Shun Yu, I think, but I ended up re-rolling because I was looking for, again, the charm characters. I end up getting the Wan Xiao in the next roll, and I pick him up, getting closer to that 18. Pick up another orb in the next phase. We've got a wind, vigor, and skill choice here. This is the second to last phase. I end up picking up the wind element here, trying to push that a little harder. And one of these last saplings here, I am trying to look for charm characters. I am re-rolling, not looking for shoe characters, but I'm looking for the charm. I'm trying to get that rally ability. And heartbreaking enough for the last one, I get 2 choices between the peach tree and a speed emblem. I don't think any characters had the charm and speed, so I end up going with the peach tree on this one to buff up my maximum health, and that's pretty much it for the builds. For the bosses, 5 files, and they range from 25 to about 35 minutes. So that's about 2.5 hours of footage just for the bosses themselves. But for my build, that's where we're pretty gonna end the video. Again, there were a couple of other orbs that came up. I'm gonna put up my final build at the end here. So if we take a look, you'll see my Liu Bei. He's got 17 charm emblems. So I didn't really focus on the elements on this one. I went heavy on the charm. I could not get the final 18th one to see if it made a actual difference with the power level against the bosses. Took me 2.5 hours to beat them, 30 to 45 minutes each for each boss. Lubu was so annoying to fight against because the thing that he does when he jumps, it just prolongs the time to fight him. If you guys watch the video where I talk about how Traversal 6 is easy, but it's just, I hate it. It just took so long. It takes so much to get through it. A total slogfest. But yeah, so 17 charms. I got the wisdom push up to 12, only 8 for my speed. You know, everything else was kind of even, you know, and I had a decent treasure hunt as well. Ideal treasures for me for a Traversal 6 run would not even be the Art of War because if I could get it from a cauldron, that would be absolutely ideal. But if I can't, then Art of War, I would like the Painting of Canaan just in case. If I have the 8 gates gold, then I would switch out the Art of War for probably the Painting of Canaan, or if I've already beaten Tamahami, and depending on how many like Tears of Blood I have and I have the 8 gates, I might go with the Mirror to increase my assemble gauge charge, or the Dakin King vessel to increase that as well. Getting the 4-wheel chariot is definitely high up on my list, but I would have loved the green bag book. That would have been super essential. I'll play some of the footage of me fighting against the boss, and you'll see me sometimes just sitting around and healing, because that's what saved me. If I did not have the 8 gates gold formation, I would have lost this challenge. I would have absolutely lost this challenge. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the walkthrough here. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. This was just my thoughts going through Traversal 6 with Liu Bei, trying to go for a specific thing, and that's what I was focused on. You know, really trying to push that charm up to 18 in order to see if that attack would have made a difference. I'm going to do Traversal 6 again. I might do a Liu Bei again just to see if it makes a difference, but he's also stronger now, so he's going to feel stronger. You know, pushing the elements, if that would have been a wiser choice, would that have made it faster for me? I don't know. I definitely like the power that you get towards the higher ends for the elements, along with the little floating orbs. Those are always really comforting to have. But that's all I really have for the video here, guys. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely appreciate you guys dropping a like, a comment, or a sub. That's all I have for the video here, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Later, guys.